Today we're going to, I just want to discuss magic. We're going to talk about the definition. We're going to talk about what magic means, what magic is. I have a definition of magic, as far as we go by dictionaries: manipulation of the paranormal to achieve the supernatural. Now, a magician, for entertainment, visualizes supernatural powers to overcome feats. The first question I want you to ask yourself is, when the first time you experienced magic? What do we call magic? What can we say magic is? Again, the definition: manipulation of the paranormal to achieve the supernatural. So what is the supernatural? Supernatural is something that, in my eyes and my experience, is something that your mind, your knowledge, anything that you may call it, is not able to use its facets to solve a problem. When was the first time that you experienced magic? If you want to pause, think about it, whatever. The first time I experienced magic, I didn't know the definition of magic. I didn't know what magic was. I didn't know anything about that. But the first time I experienced it, I want to say about 9 years old. I was raised in a Lutheran household. I don't have friends or anybody to hang around. You're left to your own facets. So I'd say I was sheltered. I just didn't have opportunities because I kind of lived in the country. There weren't a lot of kids around. And if there was, I wasn't allowed to hang out with them, I guess. So I had this beginning fear of demons. Where demons came from is beyond me. Where they came in my head, I don't know. What they were, who introduced me to demons, I don't know. But I started to have these thoughts crop up in my head about, I guess you could say it was damaging to myself, or hurting myself, wanting, or like I should die, just crazy stuff like that. But I knew, my conscience knew, that this is more of a annoying radio program that I need to shut off. It was bad enough to the point where there was nobody to reach out to, so I knew I had to figure it out myself, or I had to have somebody's help. So what did I do? I prayed to God, but it didn't work. How would that not work with a child at 9 years old? I believed that there was a God because somebody told me there was, and that's what I did. I didn't connect with a God. But what I connected with was a minister on TV. This minister's name is Benny Hinn. A lot of people know him. He's been known as a scam artist, this, that, and the other thing. A miracle healer. Quit. What did I do? I was getting ready to go on a vacation with my family. My grandmother was taking me to the Florida Keys because that's where some of my family was. I went to the Florida Keys to see family, but before that, I saw Benny Hinn on TV saying, "Write a letter to us with your needs and we'll pray for you." I wrote a letter to Benny Hinn Ministries about the demons in my head that were bothering me, that wouldn't leave me alone. When I got to the Keys, it took me a minute, and I stood in the street, and I realized those voices weren't in my head anymore. At that point, I was like, wow, there's no more demons in my head. Benny Hinn, he's a good guy. That was my first experience with magic. I tread real lightly with this aspect because you can go ahead and say, I scribed something on a paper of my desires and I sent it away. That's what I did. My thought process was that these transgressions on this paper are going to go to a place, and these people are more powerful than me. They'll be able to talk to God because God's not listening to me. That was my first experience. Now, my first life-altering experiences with the same type of magic is Klikos Apollon. So the god Apollo, which is a light bearer, very, very kind, very sweet, very teenager-like, I guess you could say, just fair being. So this ritual that we're talking about, Klikos Apollon, there's a couple different variations, but the one that was showed to me by Brandy Elaine was very powerful wording that was understood, displays a great image, displays a great forward of what Apollon is, Pythia, the whole 9 yards. So, and it's almost the same, aspect as what I did when I was 9 years old. The thing is that they work, and they work very quickly. We can pull apart subconscious acts. We can do this. But do you want to? That's the question. Do you want to go to a magic show? You want to go to this magic show, you're going to pay for it. You want to be entertained, right? Do you want to know how they did it? Or do you just want to be in awe? Do you pay for the experience? Or do you want to know how it works? Do we want to pull this apart? Do we really want to pull this apart? I can pull it apart and, I'll do it. So, and this is really, really basic. This isn't getting into chemical fluctuations. We're just going to use a basic map of how this works. So, your intent. First off, you have to recognize what your issue is, how it affects you, and why it is no good in your life. Once you've identified your issue, your problem, whatever, you know what it is, okay? For now, we're gonna call it Bob. Say I have an addiction to chewing my nails, right? Who's gonna take care of it for us since we can't? Have we tried yet? Have we tried consciously not biting our nails yet? Have we tried that? If you can't handle it after you've tried, after you think you've tried, and you have an outlet, having something that you believe in. You have to have something to believe in, right? So, is there something you believe in? Some people believe in their ancestral power. Their ancestors are going to take care of them. Ancestors are going to watch over them. Some people believe in God. Some people believe in the spaghetti monster. Again, you have something you can believe in that you feel that you can communicate with. If the answer is yes, we can move on. If not, there's a whole other section to that. Finding your deity. Finding your following. We're going to go ahead. We're going to find a way within our culture, within our belief system, that has a communication for the deity that you believe in. If you're fresh into communicating with your deity, what ways were used to communicate with that deity? What myths, what stories, what exactly was used, what offerings, everything. So we're going to use those, right? We're going to use those. I'm going to go out to the store and I'm going to go to Whole Foods and I'm going to buy a golden cake. I'm going to buy some olives. I'm going to buy some figs. I'm going to buy breads, I'm gonna buy meats, I'm gonna buy cheeses, I'm gonna buy a tray. And you know what? I done spent $100 on a feast for my deity. It was the best that I could offer at the time. I'm not saying that you need to go out and spend $100, but you need to put forth your best foot to make an offering to your deity. Why? Because it's all about you. It's all about you. You need help. They're going to need to know you're serious. When we don't have a single thing, what happens? What do you give when you don't have a penny? What do you give? You'll see rituals where they gave blood. That's serious. That's super serious. That's your life force. So, actually, I hold no liability or responsibility on you hurting yourself for religious reasons. I didn't tell you to do that. Our offering has given us a goodwill token in our mind. We have done something to the fullest of our extent to this deity that we believe in for the problem that we've addressed. If there's a ritual involved, we're going to perform the ritual. There's also libations, incense, the basics, things like that. But what we did is we identified the problem, we know our deity, we give the most we can offer, and we invoke, okay? The invoking process is where the feelings come on, where the intent is portrayed, where the needs are met, where the desires are made known. We're pouring all this out, right? We're pouring all this out. We are going to go ahead and we're going to live in it and revel in it, and it's going to be great. And we are going to change our environment, because what we couldn't do, we knew somebody else was going to do, and it was completed. If things get worse, instead of chewing your fingernails, you start chewing your cuticles. What are you going to do? You gonna be mad? You gonna be mad about it? What'd you do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. You need to listen. There's something else there. There's something else. If this is a reoccurring issue, you need to listen, look, identify the problem. Again, identify the environment around it. What happened the last time this issue came up? What was your decision after that issue subsided a little bit, right? What do we have to change? We have to change something. I'm not sitting here and telling you I don't practice magic. I don't practice conventional magic. Okay? So I'm gonna get all kinds of flack from people, high-powered magicians will put a curse on me, this, that, and the other thing. I practice forms of magic every time I perform the Kleikos Apollon. Apollo has never asked me for anything. The only thing that he has done is provide for me, given me my answers, shown me the way, shown me how to overcome my personal issues, and I go in with him, and I know he's not going to provide for me, but I'm going to go through a situation that is going to be very either difficult or enlightening. And the question is, could this have happened without him? Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes. But when you're gearing your intent and your issue into a magical ritual, into anything, you're gonna get a result because you've poured yourself out into the universe. How does the universe work? That's magic. Everything's being put out there. It's gonna circle back. You're gonna get a response. Sometimes it's very quick, sometimes it takes a while. Generally, I give it 3 days. I'm gonna go make a separate video, on the things that we talked about, the Christian aspect, my work with Apollo, okay, my work with Hades, and my work with Agate, Lucifer, and I'll produce a couple more videos on those specifics, and if you'd like to watch them, you're more than welcome. I appreciate your view. So let me know what you think on that. It's kind of, I feel that it's kind of snobbish to downplay magic, but it's not. I'm not downplaying it. I'm not at all. So I'm giving you an outsider's view, a analyst view, a mechanical view on it. I know what kind of relationship I have with my gods. It's a level, I'm not going to say a level playing field, but in communication, they'll put me in my place when I need to be, that's for sure. So, thank you again for watching. I'm going to cut it here before I keep rambling, and you have a good night.